This small, windowless room has housed the great clock for over 3 centuries. The village clockmaker would have come here to service, wind and clean the clockwork, and he would have left notes for himself about the behaviour of the clock on a slate. The clockmaker in Appleby Magna in 1697 was Joseph Baker, who was paid a retainer by the governors of the foundation each year. The Bakers were Appleby's clockmakers for generations. The wooden frame of the clock was probably made on site. In 1697, wooden frames were in vogue. Until this time, clocks were constructed on metal frames. This frame would have been raised off the ground so that the weights could go far enough down without banging on the floor. There are 2 main parts of this clock, one of which turns the hands, the other controls the striking of the bell. The one which turns the hands is called the going train. This is the lower part of the frame. All mechanical clocks have a going train. It is a set of wheels and pinions which are driven by a motive power. In this case, a series of weights. The weights would have hung down from the cupola, connected to the clock by a series of pulleys. It was important that nobody touch the weights. A strong, tall cage was built to protect them. The other part of the clock is the striking train and occupies the upper part of the frame. You can see the striking wheel on the left. It controls how many times the hammer should strike the bell. The striking train on the great clock has not been changed since the 17th century. It is a locking plate. This is the oldest striking system used in mechanical clocks. The disadvantage is that the hands can easily get out of synchronization with the clock mechanism. School would have started at 7 a.m. in the summer, when the bell would strike. In winter, it was 8 a.m. 2 or 3 hours of Latin were followed by an hour of handwriting, then a 2-hour lunch break. The afternoon session lasted until 5 p.m. in the summer or 4 p.m. in the winter. All this would have been regulated by the striking of the bell. Clocks were also a status symbol, and this clock was state-of-the-art in 1697. It was diamond-shaped and only had an hour hand. In 1774 or 5, it had an upgrade. A new round dial was fitted, and a minute hand added. Before the school was built, the people of Appleby would have lived their lives according to the seasons, but the arrival of the new clock meant that time could be measured much more precisely. In the 17th century, clocks were becoming important to regulate modern-day life. The Industrial Revolution was gaining momentum, and trains were in their infancy, but not in Appleby Magna. Here, the only evidence of the new era was the clock.